What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel for the very first, the inaugural episode 1 of the CapeCast. And you guys know me, Default Dan, but I'm joined with a very good friend that I've known for a long time, Mr. Jesse James, or GC James again. He won't tell me how to say his name, but any of this always works. How you doing, man?
Doing great, Dan. So great to be introduced to yet another game by you that I'm taking quickly to. I know we've been hanging out, we've been playing games for a long time. You know it's the meme of the channel. It doesn't matter. It's GC Jesse, especially if I'm playing bad. Oh geez, James, however you guys pronounce it out there, that's correct. And it's great to be here on the CapeCast. Thank you so much for introducing me to DC Dark Legion, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. We came from another franchise in Marvel Snap. You play a lot of different games. I mean, even Mario, like Switch games, just all kinds of stuff you love to play. And you know, this is just one of those little mobile games you log into every now and then. You play a little bit, but I thought, hey, you're looking for something different, looking for something a little new. So I threw it over the fence. You seem to be enjoying it. And one of the important things to note for the CapeCast is GC plays the game a little bit differently than I do. So I'm going to have all those red star characters and things like that. GC will have them eventually, like 2 or 3 years from now. But you're taking the free-to-play route, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I wailed a bit in Marvel Snap, and I wailed a bit in Hearthstone as well. Mm-hmm. And then you introduced me into Lorcana, actual physical trading card game. Mm-hmm. And I made the devout decision right then, no more purchases on digital media of card game or otherwise. Microtransactions were out of here. I'll spend, I guess, like, what is it, $70-$80 now for a Switch 2 game? I'll spend a one-time drop, pay to play. But this constant paying on, I decided I'd take that hobby money, throw it over into Lorcana. So I'm coming into this completely free to play. I haven't even bought that second construction cube, which is sometimes it's tempting. It's only like $2, but yeah, I'll be coming in. I've devoted $0, not spending a dime.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those hard things. And again, we're going to be talking way more free-to-play stuff, because the way we're setting this up is this is going to be a 2-parter episode. And this will be what we do weekly. We're going to have the first half on my channel, and then you guys will go over to GC's channel for the second half. We're going to have 3 topics on each of the halves of the video. Mine, I'm going to have a topic where we kind of talk some of the whale stuff. And then your side, we're going to have some free to play. So we're going to be digging into that each week. But definitely, guys, if you haven't already done it, hit the sub button down below. When you get over to GC's channel for the other half of the video, make sure to hit the sub over there. We want to get him up, partnered into the creator program, all that good stuff. So make sure you're doing that. And as importantly as that is, make sure you leave a comment, hit a like on both of the videos to try to get that algorithm going so we can get this video out to more people. But within those comments, guys, let us know what you want us to talk about. Any topics, any characters, modes, whatever it is you guys want us to kind of hit during this podcast, the CapeCast, just leave down in the comments so that we can get you guys the best show each week and make this thing fresh for you guys. So
yeah, it's early on, both for my channel when we get over there, but also the CapeCast. So you guys dropping those comments down, letting us know what you want us to talk about. You really have a chance here to shape the show, drive us in the right direction. So we're really interested in everything you've got to say. So fill the comment section up.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, guys, as we start and kick off this episode 1 of the CapeCast, we're going to be looking at 3 topics over here. We're going to be looking at that Superfam event. We're going to be talking about the bleeds and the fact that currently we have 3 bleeds going on. The section that I talked about a little bit ago, whale, hello, we're going to hit some of the whale topics there. Then in the second half of the video, you want to make sure you stick around and go over to GC's channel. There'll be a link at the end of the video to get you over there. But that one, We're going to be talking about the new player experience. As GC said, he's playing this game free to play, but he's also just starting the game. So he's been here for a few weeks. He just got to the Joker banner and all of that. So we're going to be talking about that. So you'll also see my perspective of global launch compared to GC's perspective. So wherever you fall in between that, it's going to be really great. Talking about crypto, again, we'll hint on it a little bit in the Superman event, but specifically deep diving on that character in the game and finishing everything up with the free-to-play feels. So again, those free-to-play topics with GC as we go through. But I'm super, super excited about this episode and everything we're covering. So we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna jump into that first topic, talking about the Superman event. And I'll throw it over to you first, GC. You know, this is your first event in this game. You know, some of us, we've been here since global launch, so we've done Aquaman, Wonder Woman, all of that. But how are you feeling about the event, all the stuff going on with it, since you're able to get in that, especially from the free-to-play perspective?
Yeah, this first event has really been amazing to me. I jump into it. First off, it doesn't feel like one event. It feels almost like 3 events. You've got gifting back and forth and collecting your geological rocks. There's a joke on my server about sending them in for study. We'll tell you if they're A+ or not. And then you've got like this weird minesweeper poke at it method.
Yeah.
And then plus the daily quest to get you more scanners to play that and to get more tennis balls through the gifts or otherwise to unlock crypto and then use this super sniff to unlock more of the minesweeper mode. It's been a really engaging event. Like it's slowed down now. We're probably over the halfway point. It's slowed down a little bit, but as a free to play player, I immediately felt participation in it.
Yeah.
I was in there. I was clicking things, and it felt like there was a lot of content in this event.
And you
definitely have enjoyed it.
You missed one whole part too. You got the colossal crisis where you're having to attack the big monster. they threw a lot at us with this event.
Yeah, there was a whole lot, which to that it's easy to miss because it almost just feels like your typical coordinated assaults, just reskinned for the event. And it wasn't until you pointed it out to me that it actually has like a max HP. So it's like the first 2 minutes of daily reset where everybody's doing coordinated results, and then that's the leaderboard. And that part of the event's done for the day, but we're still going to coordinate assault for our geological rocks, the cinemas gifts, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of content, which I felt was for the first event that my server has gotten, the first event that I'm playing in, it felt like a lot of content. And again, just like a huge event. And my first question was like, how often am I going to be getting so much content, so much injection of resources, you know, not to mention, I mean, we'll talk about it more, but a whole character free. Yeah. Free. I've gotten the best doggo that we'll talk about on my channel for free in this event. Huge content. Huge content.
It's definitely been crazy. Like we've had a few different events, and again, with when you started, you had already missed out on the Wonder Woman and the Aquaman. Wonder Woman was different. I think there was also a Dr. Fate event. So I think this is the 4th event that we had. Wonder Woman and Dr. Fate had this weird Monopoly thing where you roll dice, you move around a board, and then you get stuff on spaces you land on. But Aquaman and Superman have this whole find the right one to get to the next level, right? And it opens up everything. But you know, with Aquaman, they didn't have. I think they did have the gift giving, but it wasn't to the same level. But now it's like, you're getting all these gifts. You've got that. They added the crisis event, which is kind of new, so that was tacked onto it. And then of course, this free, you know, crypto that you can get just by giving those gems around. So again, we're not going to dig too far into crypto in this video, so make sure you check out the second half over with GC, because we're definitely going to be diving into crypto himself. But yeah, getting a free character is just pretty amazing in general.
Yeah, and through talking with you throughout the week and everything, I've kind of learned like the events leading up to this, kind of how you explained, like it's almost like this event, from my understanding, has taken pieces of all the other events and conglomerated it together. It really feels that like I don't know, maybe it would be different if I had started earlier on, but like coming into this event and it being really fully fleshed out, and then I knew the server age and stuff, and the bleed schedule and how that differs based off of which server you're on. And then I also learned like this is a global event. You and I cross server get into this. It felt really cool. And it also, I don't know, there's a little bit of envy that I have for your experience, because you can see how the devs have progressed this.
Yeah.
But having talked to you with it, it really does feel like this event shows how was it Fun Plus is not innovating and iterating over their ideas and making them better and better. And I've had a lot of fun with it. So if this is the kind of events that we're having right now in DC Dark Legion, I'm super excited for the future, because I am bought into this game. I'm willing to keep playing on it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, we see this a lot with the patches coming out and things like that. Like, they are listening to the community. They're pretty quick to get these changes in and things like that. With these events, I think Dr. Fate was the first one, and it felt really whaley. Like, there was no gift giving. There was no whatever. Pretty much you ran out of attempts after day 4, because you could finish everything on like day 4. So the other 3 days or other 4 days, like literally you got nothing in the event, unless you're whaling and you're buying the daily packs and things like that. So you got more chances. But then after that, like, okay, well, we got to add something for, free to play, makes you want to do it. They added the gift giving and things like that. And yeah, this iteration of each time, and then this one, then being like, hey, we got this new character we really want people to get bought in on, especially Superfam, right? This whole thing is around the Superfam. We want you to want to go after Supergirl, Superboy, Superman. Hey, here's a new character, and he works really well with the Superfam. And like I said, we're going to dig deeper into crypto in a little bit, but it's this iteration there. And even within that, one of the small things I'll call out is this room skin. There, even though I don't think it's where it needs to be, it was something. So we've had room skins on 2 of the other events that literally did nothing. They're just in your base. Again, nobody gets to see your base, so it's kind of just for you. It's hard to justify 3,000 of the currency there when, like, literally you could get AC/DC shards, 3,000, right? Get you almost 30 anvils. And honestly, if I already bought the cheaper anvils, like, it gets you the cheaper anvils, it gives you the crypto stuff. Like, there's no reason why you're going to spend on one of these skins, but they did start to add these stats to the skin. I still don't think they matter enough to spend 3,000 there. Even if you're a whale or whatever, I think there's other things you purchase. There's eyes, there's, parts for your ship and things like that. But they're trying, and this is their first stab at it, because I also know that they don't want this to feel, spenders are buying this skin, and then all of a sudden all their characters get like 100,000 health, right? Like, so they do have to balance that in some way. But I did want to call that out of, not only are they doing it on the events, they are also looking at the rewards and pricing and figuring out like what can they do to make it better there.
Yeah, it's one of those that did stick out to me when I saw it in the shop, because I played my first time and you joined in on stream and we talked about it, and we looked at the skins. I looked at the skins and you were like, yeah, those are useless. Like, you'll never ever try to invest in one of those. They're event only, and they provide no benefit. And the big thing that really was the nail in the coffin was when you told me, like, nobody ever sees it. It's just for you. It's like, wait, nobody even knows that I flexed
again,
right?
Like,
that I flexed in the event.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think like there is that middle ground that they have to strike, right? Because like as a free to play player, I'm looking for those anvils. Maybe, you know, I'm a little early on, but like eyes are really important. Ship parts are, I'm already realizing super rare. So it's a little bit of that bump of just like, hey, we heard you that these skins are not at all interesting, so we're trying to add some interest. But I would feel really bad if I was like having to hoard everything because these were broken stats and I couldn't get the anvils, I couldn't get the ship parts, I couldn't get the parts that progressed me in the normal attributes of the game.
Yeah, and
so we'll see if they tone it in.
Yeah, and the last part, I'll do this before we head over to the next topic, would be like if this was, let's say, like a Superman skin from the new movie, right? The DCU version of Superman. Now, if that was here and it gave me no stats or whatever, I may buy that because it changes my character when I'm battling somebody or they're battling me, and I get to show it off. I think the problem is, to your point, like this is in my base.
You're right.
I'm the only one that sees it.
No one
but
sees
if it's a new skin on my character, I may do that. I may spend my gems. I may spend whatever just to get those alternate looks, even if they don't get new stats, just because now I feel better about. And again, that's probably a whale hello topic, but it's something that, you know, I probably do go after a little bit more compared to a skin and a room on my stuff. So. But yeah, so like, you know, talking about anvils and things like that you can get here. The next topic I wanted to hit was talking about the recruitment. So originally, this is the very first time we've had 3 banners. Now I want to say, I think this may have happened one time in the beta servers a long time ago when they were messing around with having to pause a banner for a new one coming in. But for global, this is the first time we've had 3 banners, and it's actually pretty important because one, I'll go ahead and clarify it. And I had talked to you about this too. I want to clarify it for anybody listening. This is a one-off return of Superman. This isn't the start of the return of Bleed returns. And I'm saying return a lot, but we did get confirmation that yes, the bleeds will come in. We will get reruns of different characters. We're seeing Superman, but from everything that the community managers have said and things like that on the Discord, we do not expect Joker to be showing up after Superman. I'd love it to do that, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But wanted to clarify that as we get into this topic, that this is as of now just a one-off. We have 3 banners. But I want to get your opinion because you're new to the server. You're just now seeing kind of 3 banners in, or I guess you still have 2 banners.
Right.
Because you're only on Joker. So you've only done Superman and Joker.
Funny enough, we're like, what, 6 months apart from our server ages. And we both currently have Superman as a banner. Yeah, Joker, I think I'm about to go into week 2 of Joker. We're just finishing up week 1. Joker's the banner that I wanted to go for. So I'm a full pass on Superman. Yeah. 3 banners as a free-to-play player is like this really strong juxtaposition of extremely exciting and paralyzingly terrifying. Yeah. Because if it's 3 brand new characters, if you're telling me that I've got like Joker, Scarecrow, and some other Arkham character, and I'm having to now manage my resource and trying to get through all 3 of those, I'm already starting to sweat figuring out how I'm going to get Scarecrow as a free-to-play player, right? Yeah. Like that's absolutely terrifying. But if you're telling me that like 6 months down the line, Superman pops back up, and maybe I don't care about Constantine, and maybe I don't care about Nightwing, and I can just revamp, go back into Superman, especially if stuff like Crypto comes out, and there's Superboy and Supergirl and these other Superfam characters that at the very onset of the game I'm not diving into, then that's really exciting to have these old Bleed characters come back up after I've gotten deeper into the Bleed, after new characters have been released and I've started to like those play styles. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I understand that they're not putting down a new Bleed rotation schedule. They're not putting a third slot in there and saying like, yo, next is going to be Joker or anything like that. There is no commitment. So it's still this balance act of it's either extremely exciting or paralyzingly terrifying. And as long as it's always a repeat character, even if the next one's not Scarecrow, Joker, even if it's not Scarecrow, if it's something else, as long as there's always a repeat character, maybe it's Crypto, right? We all get the chance to get Crypto in this event. Maybe the next third one is Crypto, but if it's a pushback on FOMO to where like a character does cycle in and the third one is always a repeat, so that you can decide like, hey, I can keep going on or I can play catch up on something I didn't get previously. I think that's really exciting. And to me, that's the line in the sand I hope that they draw. I hope that the third Bleed is always a repeat. And that would be super exciting for me because like Superman's a good character. He plugs and plays into so many teams.
Yeah.
He's just a tanky, hard-hitting, single target powerhouse. But he's also the golden boy that can do no wrong, so I'm not going to pick him up. I like my Joker and my Batman part of the DC universe, but maybe in the future I pick him up, you know? That's where I really hope. I hope that third slot is always a repeat.
Yeah, I'm really interested. Again, it's a cool dynamic to see your gameplay right now and how, what 6 months looks like in the past, because we literally, as Constantine comes out, we're about to get Supergirl. We've got Superboy coming in. They're going to overlap with, Superman. So we'll have all the Superfam there at once. But like with yours, you're several months, if your Bleed matches that, you're several months away from Supergirl. So it'll be way even after this Superfam event. So I am curious if Superman's going to pop up then, right? Because that when you get, are all three of those tied together and yours will pop up then, or will it pop up like now before Nightwing on yours? So there's some questions out there, and I'll probably hit up the devs and ask some of those questions too, just to see if I can get clarity. Because again, your Superman's going to end, and I think mine will still have like 7 days or something like that left. So then it'll be curious, like, okay, does yours like pop up with 7 days again? I don't know. Like, it's just a weird, because the Bleeds aren't just global, and they're based on your server time. It's really interesting to see like what yours does, because all we've had to reference that is beta players, right? Like beta players have had a certain one.
You've got 22 days left on Superman. I've only got 5.
Yeah.
Right. So like, to your point, like, does Superman just pop it back up because of the event that's going on? And like, is this third Bleed a global phenomena, a global event that I'm not seeing because Superman's already there, and you're not seeing because, it's just my experience. You haven't heard of somebody else's third Superman, right? That's an interesting point. That would be very interesting to find out as well. And one of the things I like about this game, again, is like, there's this cool, fun, like, small community niche of your server and your Bleed schedule and your events and your rushes, and then the global event scale as well. So on which side of that coin does this truly lie? Yeah,
and we're definitely gonna talk a lot about that as we get into your sections too, because when we get to the free to play fields, I want to bring up like the 7-day calendar, which seems to be specifically based on Bleed and server timing and stuff like that. So lot to continue on with some of those topics. And as we transition into our third topic here, last topic for the first half of the video, which is that whale hello section. And again, we're going to be continuing this one each week where we take some of those topics that are specific to whales. But again, if you guys have questions about whaling stuff or maybe what packs to buy or things like that, just let me know down in the comments and we'll dig. But I wanted to continue this 3-person bleed a little bit into this topic, and then we'll also talk about the specific Nightwing and Constantine, since they're kind of right now with global launch on the whale system, right? So one, I agree with you on this 3 bleeds. I think it's a great thing to have, and yes, coming from a whale, it's like, all right, I got tons of anvils. Let's go and see what we can do with them. From a free to play,
1,540. I can't imagine so much. I saved 172 and felt good.
We're saving, man. We just spent 2,300 on Constantine, and now we're saving up. I think for Martian Manhunter and Starfire being the next ones. But I agree with you when you say, like, I think the third slot has to be a repeat. Like, you can't have 3 new characters in here, but like putting a repeat, and I think one thing I would love for them to do is make that official and say it's going to follow your bleed schedule. Meaning I would know that Joker's coming next, followed by Scarecrow, followed by Deathstroke, to where now in my mind, I can start putting a calendar together to say, okay, this is where I'm saving till, right? Like I missed out on Deathstroke maybe or whatever. And like, that's the character I want to go all in on. And I can start saving because now I've seen the character in action and know how good he is or whatever. So I don't know. I would definitely love that, just to get more clarity on what the bleed looks like. Cause we had some stuff happen with the bleed that was posted in the Discord. Developers decided to change it up a little bit, and then that caused a bunch of controversy. And so they took it down in the Discord. So now at this point, we know what everything goes till Nightwing. And that's because they said that that's would always be the same. We just don't really know beyond that. We know right now we're getting the Superfam, but outside of those next 2, we don't know if we're going to get Hawkgirl back. We don't know if it goes straight to Martian Manhunter. So definitely would love that, especially from a whale or a free-to-play perspective, knowing what you're saving your gems for and how long you have to save,
Right. Yeah, because even from a whale perspective, you're still going to need to be buying these gems up to that point, right? You can't... I don't know. You can correct me if we're wrong, because I don't spend a lot of time in the store. I don't spend a lot of time in the shop, but I don't think you can just go in and drop 10K today and have a bunch of resources. You've got to buy the resources daily or weekly and let those shops and those combos refresh.
So I don't know what happens after you buy the $99.99 deal. But yes, so like each week, that whole deal for anvils specifically, you have your small $4.99 and then just goes up and up and up. But then when you get to the $99.99, it says you can buy 3. So all the ones prior to that are one time, and then it shoots you up to the next level. $99.99 says 3. But at that point, you're also getting not as great of odds because it's 1 anvil per $1, compared to all these other ones are much better deals.
It's not great value.
Yeah, so based on value, you are correct. You would want to be like each week just buying the $4.99, the $9.99, maybe the $19.99, and then anything beyond that, you start to get into not so great conversion, pieces. But then you can buy them from other shops and different things like that. So yeah, I think there is a lot of that to where it's not like the gems where you can just be like 100 anvils, $50, 100 anvils, $50, 100 anvils, $50 type thing, like you can do with the gems. Even from a whale perspective. So, yeah.
One thing that I've noticed in the stores and the shops for me is I haven't noticed a lot of cosmetics. You kind of mentioned the room cosmetics from the past events. The only you see them. I don't notice any other cosmetics like the mythic banner equipment changes your character that he's holding, but that's still gameplay value. From a whale perspective, if you could have like Dark Superman or White Knight Batman, making stuff up that doesn't exist. Would you spend money on just straight cosmetic, no change, as long as people could see you flexing on them?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. As of now, just to answer that one question, the only cosmetics we really have are these items. So, um, the legacy item on a character will make them look a little different. So,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
but again,
it also
it's
the
minimal,
legacy
right?
item, right? But the legacy item also has stats attached to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It has
yeah,
an entire unlock ability, like
yeah.
Joker gets more Venom stats.
Hmm.
So it's like there's nothing in this game that screams to me as purely cosmetic.
Yeah,
Everything comes with a little buff, except for those event things that we talked about previously. But
mhm.
anything that has a real dollar amount,
Yeah,
and
I think,
it seems surprising to me because Wells love to flex
yeah.
cosmetically.
And I think that honestly, it would be, in my opinion, I'm going to say easy, I'm not saying this from our perspective, a dev perspective. I'm just saying from a perspective of every game does this. So like being able to have like Superman and buy, again, there's licensing stuff like that, but like being able to be like, oh, I want the Zack Snyder's, black suit Superman. I want the brand new DCU James Gunn's Superman. I want, um, again, there's going to be balances of like, okay, which I think some other games have shot themselves in the foot on this of, they end up taking somebody like Superman and being like, "Oh, I'm going to give him a steel costume," when it's like, no, Steel's a whole different character. Don't don't do that. But
Right.
like, it's definitely one of those things where I think 100%. You
That could be
have,
doing it.
yeah, you have like
You would
Aquaman,
pay
right?
for it.
Like
You'd be on
Aquaman
it.
has multiple different looks and feels, from Jason Momoa's Aquaman in the movies to the Aquaman that has like the one hand missing and long hair, to old school like orange like super bright orange shirt Aquaman, with Super Friends. And I think that you do that and you get whales to easily 4.99, 9.99 on some costumes of them just going, I want my stuff to look different when I'm battling with
Right.
it. I mean, you look at the ships and the fact that there are people, which I know there's a lot more tied to all of this, but the fact that you've got the Superman's Kryptonian rocket, as a potential ship. How do I even get there now? There you go. Where you're having to spend so much money to do this. Now that also like Red Star's your Green Lantern and things like that. But yeah, 100%. I think that would be a money maker, for the devs, and I definitely think whales in general, and I think even some mild dolphins or mild spenders would purchase their favorite characters' looks,
Right.
into the
Right.
game.
Their favorite characters, especially.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was surprising to me, and I was interested. Like, is there something unique about this game from a well perspective that it's like cosmetics doesn't work for it? But it sounds like from your Wells perspective, it would work. They just
yeah,
haven't
I'm
haven't decided to monetize that avenue.
yeah, I was a little surprised with the gear, which I get it if you had to like create literally new artwork for 9 different types of gear on every single character. So I understand that one, but I was a little surprised that there are different looks for the same, like Superman can wear these 2 different helmets. There's no difference in the stats, right, between these two.
Right.
And between the two, there's no different thing in stats, and it doesn't change your look. So that kind of surprised me a little bit of why they would even do that, because it doesn't change a look. But yeah, I think so. I think that you think of a lot of games, and you know, there's other games right now that are also being played that have just started doing some cosmetic meta looks and things like that, and they're already seeing people spend, I think it's like $10 for a new outfit. So I could definitely see them doing that over time. I know it's been suggested in the Discord. The devs have heard it, but it just depends on at what point they want to act on that. But yeah, I mean, again, I think that that's definitely one of those topics that I have to imagine a month from now, 2 months from now, it'll come back up. We'll talk more about it because then there'll probably be more potential ideas around cosmetics or additional spins that we see coming to the game and everything. But with that said, I know we're right at a little bit over that 30-minute mark, so we're going to wrap up this side of the video because we got so much more to talk about, and we're going to jump over to GC's channel. So make sure when you go over there, hit that sub button, hit the like, all of that. Let's get them up to those 1,000 subscribers, and let's try to get him into the creator program with me so he can have some fun over there as well. So yeah, appreciate you guys tuning into this half of the video, but make sure you catch the other half where we go a little bit deeper into the free to play. Again, we're going to be talking about crypto, not the currency, the good boy, as well as just that new player experience from that free to play experience. So definitely you want to check that out. But yeah, appreciate you guys so much. And until you jump over there, till next time, you guys take it easy.
See you next time.